Scene one, take one. All right, I have a clapper board in the car, but I forgot it. Cool, we're good. We're ready to go.
Okay.
That's for syncing.
Now, should I sit? How should I sit?
Straight on me, straight, square on me.
Like this?
You know, actually, that's a little bit too far away, so can I have you sit closer to the camera? Maybe just come over to this chair. Because I've made that mistake before. It kind of looks weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking too far off. I'm looking very
So
close.
Peter, what is the major problem that your clients have?
Hold on. Now we're getting a big pocket of shadow in your eyeball. When you look over here, it's not there.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So, okay, go back to that. Let's see what happens here.
Is that going to look weird?
Well, here, what I'll have to do is probably balance you out as to where you're going to be looking. Right there, yeah. Yeah, see, that looks much better. Okay, let's just go with that. Sorry, guys.
So Peter, what is the major problem that your clients face?
One of the major problems that my clients face is really understanding their roles and responsibilities. And so there often can be some frustration with that. So we want to help them to learn how to address that. How can they talk with their boss and their people to help clarify that?
How does Stewart Leadership help solve that problem?
Okay, hold on just a sec. I'm going to adjust a little bit.
Very nice.
Oh, that was
A little shaky on the
do that
question.
again.
oh, we definitely need to do that
thank you
again.
so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get into
He's
finding his
animated.
groove.
finding my.
All right, thank you. All right.
So Peter, what is a major challenge that your clients face?
Let's do a different question.
Okay. what is the goal that you have when you work with a client?
The goal I have when I work with a client is one, I want them to. I'm thinking too much.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What is the goal that you have when you work with a client?
When I work with a client, I want them coming out understanding more about themselves and the skills that they have, and how those skills can be better used to achieve both business and people results for their organization and team.
Okay, I just realized something.
Yeah.
That was awesome, you guys. And no matter where you're looking, I'm getting the strong shadow. I think that light, it's called reverse key lighting is what we're trying to do here.
Mhm.
But that key light is way too far on the side. And
Okay.
you need to bring it actually to right where you're sitting. And then you're going to sit right there. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I shift
Oh,
at
that's
all?
so much better.
Much better, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but now we got this glare. Okay, so what we're going to do is move this
That was
chair
really good.
and just try to move this back.
People and business results. It's exactly what I was going to say. So when it's my turn, it's going to be your voice, and they're just going to dub me.
Move this back. How's that looking? Better? Oh, yeah. Yay. Awesome. Okay.
Daniel, a little
Thank you.
stronger on the question. You're just kind of fading out.
Can you guys pick up where we left off, or do you want to start over again now that
We're
we're live?
starting over.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Peter,
Okay.
what is your goal when you work with a client?
When I work with a client, I want them to learn more about themselves, to develop more insight, particularly knowing how they can help their team and their organization achieve better business and people results.
What is your favorite thing about working with a client?
One of my favorite things about working with a client is seeing that aha moment when they understand more about themselves and something clicks, and then they're able to translate that into action to improve whatever they're doing.
So what are the 4 things that Stewart Leadership provides?
Stewart Leadership partners with organizations to provide 4 main things. The first is leadership development. Then we also work with teaming initiatives, change management, and talent management.
That's great. Well, as you work with a client, what is one of your main goals?
As I work with clients,
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna do a different.
okay,
Because this is a more intimate question.
All right.
So, thank you. All right, we're good. Go for it.
as I work with clients, I want them to learn more about themselves, develop more insight, particularly about how their actions affect others and how they can learn how others perceive them. Then they are able to better utilize the talents that other people have around them and focus on accomplishing both business and people results. It didn't make a lot of sense, but
What is one of the major problems that you are seeing clients experiencing these days?
one of the major problems clients generally have is understanding how do you interact with other personalities. When people are different from you, it can be hard to know, what should I do with them? How do I best lead them or partner with them? And being able to get into their shoes a little bit more or understand where they're coming from can be a critical skill.
What would be your wish for leaders to do differently in the future?
Okay, hold that thought. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more.
This is really smooth, Peter.
Close up. Okay.
My wish for leaders in the future.
Say it again.
Yeah.
What would you wish that leaders could do differently in the future?
I wish leaders, first of all, would believe in themselves a little bit more. I wish they would understand that leadership is like any skill. It just takes practice. And as we continue working on it, we improve. But if we don't work on it, then we regress in those skills. So if it can be a daily effort of improvement, that makes all the difference.
What is one thing that you have found that a senior leader needs to have to be successful, to build a successful team?
Can I back out a little bit? Give me a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
One of the most important skills that a senior leader has to be successful, particularly in leading their teams, is emotional intelligence. Understanding two parts. One, how they manage their own emotions, and two, how they respond and manage and help work with other people's emotions. So they're not afraid of, oh wow, this is a big emotional reaction, but they know how do you work with different types of people.
What is one of your favorite things about working with a client?
One of my favorite things about
Hold on.
yeah.
Sorry.
One of my favorite things about working with a client is when they have that aha moment and they're able to realize, hey, there's something I can do differently that's going to help me fix a problem I've been working with for a long time. A very quick example of that, a leader was trying to connect with one of their members of their team, and all it took was a lunch together, and it changed the course of their relationship. They had an hour of just talking human to human, and now they were able to partner efficiently.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to a leader who is struggling with what he or she is trying to do as a leader?
If I was to give leaders one piece of advice, especially if they were struggling with something, I would encourage them to be patient with their own development and to keep striving or keep trying. It's not easy. Being a leader takes effort. It takes work. And not every situation is the same. That's why we can get promoted and be doing really well in the previous position, but now we find ourselves struggling. It's just because it's a different situation. We can do it.
How do we help organizations overall achieve their strategic outcomes?
Okay, hold on. Yes. Okay.
We help teams achieve their broader strategic objectives by helping them realize that there really are two critical focuses or places to focus for their businesses. One, it's on those business results. It's understanding that, yes, we have to get done what needs to be done, but we can't ignore the people that are doing it. We have to make sure they are taken care of, that their needs are met. And when you're able to align that together, that's where you get more progress. And for executives and senior leaders, understanding how we are able to get up out of the weeds of the day-to-day operational efforts so that you have that time, the bandwidth to look forward, to have that strategic objective.
What level of people or leaders in the organization does Stewart Leadership interact and work with and help support?
At Stewart Leadership,
Hold on.
yeah,
Okay, every shot, it's going to be every question.
No
is a
problem.
different angle.
that's fine.
All right, thanks, you guys. Keeps it interesting. Okay.
Thanks. At Stewart Leadership, we strive to partner with organizations and leadership at all levels within the organization. All levels have specific needs. They need that assistance. Whether we're talking about senior leaders in which we're really striving to help, how do we focus on that more strategic objective? Or we have first level managers that are trying to figure out, all right, well, I was really good as an individual contributor, now I have responsibility for others, what should I do? And then the various levels of responsibility along the way.
So I'm going to ask that one more time. What levels of leaders or people do we at Stewart Leadership help support?
At Stewart Leadership, we support leaders at all levels within an organization, from the senior leaders down to first level managers and all of the various positions in between.
What are some of the organizational challenges overall that you are seeing as you work with clients? What are some of those challenges that they're working through?
Okay, just a second.
Mhm.
Okay.
Some of the organizational challenges we commonly see often deal with organizations that have a more matrix structure, in which you have an individual reporting to multiple supervisors and trying to understand what do each supervisor or boss need or require, and how does that translate into the day-to-day objectives, and how does then that allow you to partner with others. So it's just the complexity of organizations. The linear org chart is less common, and so it just requires significantly more communication and understanding to work in those matrixed organizations. Yep. Take three.
Yeah, thanks. Do it again.
Take three.
Yeah, I just need to see the clapping there.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, you guys are good.
So when clients work with Stewart Leadership, what should they expect?
When clients work with Stewart Leadership, they should expect not just consultants to come in and leave. Our role is not just to come in, tell you what to do, and get out. We are a partnership. We market that way. We talk about it from day one because we believe that it comes down to relationships. We want to partner with your organization and with you for your success.
When you do that again, don't say partnership, because we're not a partnership with them, but we're partnering with them.
Partner. Thank
Because
you.
they might confuse the consulting. So,
Thank you.
one more time. What?
Just wish I remember what I said.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
It'll
Pretend
come.
you.
Yeah.
So, what should clients expect from working with Stewart Leadership?
Clients should expect from Stewart Leadership that we are your partner. We are not just going to come in, tell you what to do, and leave. That's not our design. That's not our model. We want to come in, learn what your context is, what your situation is, what your needs are specifically, and then we partner with you to tailor results for that.
What are areas of your expertise that you can share with clients? What are some of the areas of deep expertise that you have that you bring to clients?
As I'm working with clients, I come from a background of psychology. I come from a perspective of we need to understand how the thoughts, the feelings that we have inside affect how we interact with others. We can't take people out of business. They become this is going nowhere. And I tap
It's okay.
this.
So stop.
Anyway.
I'm going to ask you,
Good call.
what's some of the expertise that you bring to clients, you yourself?
Okay. So when I work with clients, I bring a solid foundational understanding of assessments. I've designed them, I run the stats on them, but I not only know that, I know how do these assessments guide us in our development. And it's that translation from statistical results into true action. That bridge, that's my wheelhouse. I love doing that.
Can you say that again? That bridge, starting from there, that's my wheelhouse.
So that bridge, that's my wheelhouse.
Perfect.
So speaking of when clients see Stewart Leadership, what are the couple of things they should immediately think about when they see Stewart Leadership or a Stewart Leadership consultant?
Mm-hmm. When an individual sees Stewart Leadership or they hear about Stewart Leadership, I want them to believe that we're reputable. We've been doing this for a long time, helping and partnering with leaders for decades. We not only just deliver presentations, offsites, but we have a wealth of content to help a variety of areas in which organizations may need assistance. We not only do leadership, we do teaming, change, and talent management efforts. So it's a broader consulting perspective than you'll get with just a trainer or a coach.
If you could summarize some of the key services that you deliver, that Stewart Leadership delivers, not just the high level, but the actual services, what would those services be?
When you say services, what do you mean?
Executive coaching and development,
Okay,
offsites,
I'm like,
programs.
so how many do you want me to go into?
You got 20 seconds.
Okay.
Describe some of the services that,
All right.
that a client could then expect from us.
Gotcha, okay. So some of the services you can expect when partnering with Stewart Leadership, if I said that word again.
That's okay, how we provide value to them.
Okay.
So go ahead. So we have the 4 things up here, but specifically, what are those services
That we get
that
to.
we can add value? What are
Mhm.
those?
So some of the key services that we add value to when we're working with organizations is executive coaching, in which we're able to work with leaders within the organization to guide their personal development and how they are leading their teams. All right, we can do retreats and offsites and trainings to help not only align teams, but to teach specific skills and contents, or context. Yeah, anyway. And then we also are able to work in talent management initiatives, let's say for succession planning, where we want to ensure that there is bench strength for organizations, for positions. As people advance and move on, we don't want there to be those gaps. And when we identify folks, well, are they ready? So we can partner to help with those services.
What are just a few primary activities that you really enjoy doing with clients that add a lot of value to clients? What are those activities?
So I very much enjoy the coaching situation and process, the one-on-one where you get to know an individual, you're able to go through an assessment in which you're able to identify some of their skills and needs, and then work on a plan to improve, to see what they're going to do. And through that process, it doesn't happen overnight. So you get to know people, you get to know them well, and you're able to help them improve and see the results. And when they come back and say, wow, this is going so much better than it was 4 months ago, that's very gratifying. That's enjoyable.
One other question.
Sorry, I had an itchy chin.
Give me a climactic moment here.
I'm trying to think of any other, because I haven't. Trying to think of other. Oh, ask me about certification.
What sorts of certification processes do we have at Stewart Leadership?
So the Stewart Leadership Lead Now family of assessments, we want to have. Let me start that over again. So, the Stewart Leadership family of assessments are fabulous tools, and they're. Let me start that one again. The Stewart Leadership family of assessments are powerful instruments for change, and we do not want those to just be given to organizations by representatives of us, but we want. No, that's I don't want to go there.
So
let's do a scene 2, take 1.
Take 1,
Thank
scene
you.
2.
Perfect. Thank you.
So as you work with a client, what is something that you really want the client to understand? What is your goal in working with the client?
As I've worked with clients over the years, one of the biggest things I want them to understand is to be prepared for the uncertainties of the future. And that preparation can cover all kinds of areas, many that they aren't aware of. They may be so strategically focused, they forget preparing their people to follow once that achievement occurs. Or they may not develop the bench strength that they need. or they may undercut the development that they personally, as the senior leadership, need to achieve and prepare for.
What do you personally enjoy so much about working with clients?
It's seeing a change in behavior. It's recognizing,
So pause.
oh,
So you
I
can
need
say,
to repeat.
What I really enjoy.
Thank you.
So, what is something that you really enjoy about personally when you work with a client?
As I've been doing this work over the years, one of the things I gain greatest satisfaction in is seeing a change in behavior or a change in strategic orientation toward meeting the challenges of an uncertain future. And when they are able to achieve that, and I feel that we as Stewart leadership have had some influence over or helped them prepare for or even develop the skills to do it, it is terribly satisfying.
As you work with a client, what is one of the goals that you have for them to really understand by the end of the engagement? What's something you really want them to achieve?
Okay, hold that thought. I'm coming real close. Okay, I'm rolling.
One of the most important things that I can help a client, or we at Stewart Leadership can work with a client, is helping them understand that leaders do not become effective by accident. They aren't born to be leaders. They need to be taught, and they can be taught, and it can be learned. And they don't need to be management Einsteins to do it. We at Stewart Leadership are able to help them understand where they are deficient, where they are strong, how to achieve or leverage those strengths, how to compensate for the areas that they are poor or deficient in through our various tools, our various services, our model. And that can be very satisfying to see that fall into place where it becomes part of their routine, part of their nature, part of their culture.
As you've worked with many different clients over the years, what is a large problem or challenge that you see organizations often have?
One of the challenges that I've seen organizations have is the fact that they expect performance by buying hands and feet, where in effect they need to create an environment conducive to self-motivation, where engagement can flourish, where commitment is evident across the entire workforce at all levels. And those skills, those resources can be provided for them so that collectively they can in fact reach that kind of an environment and culture.
That's great. I want you to take some deep breaths. Calm yourself. You're talking really fast, like it's nervousness.
Oh,
Just a
thank you.
conversational, nice, easy pace. So, what is a challenge that you see organizations facing right now?
One of the challenges that I see organizations facing is having the,
Let's start over again. Take
I'm
a deep
thinking,
Because your answer was fantastic. The hands and feet. Yeah.
what is one of the challenges that we see? I was thinking.
How about this? This is a different question. What are the 4 main service areas that we provide at Stewart Leadership?
Stewart Leadership is delighted to provide and partner with its clients in providing 4 major areas of focus: leadership development, team performance, change management, and talent management. Collectively or individually, those address and focus on the major areas of concern that every organization has.
What is something that a client can expect when they work and engage with Stewart Leadership?
We are pleased to say, modesty aside, that a client can expect a partnering with Stewart Leadership that can extend far beyond a single engagement. The proof of the pudding is, over the years, it's phenomenal how often we are called back 4, 5, 6, 7 times for multi-year contracts by the same executive or team of executives who have moved on to either other companies or additional positions of responsibility.
I like that. Good line.
What is one thing that you really want leaders to know to help them be successful?
One of the things that I would want leaders to know to be successful is to be patient with themselves, to become aware of the areas that they needed to improve upon and how they can, in fact, build on those areas either through initiative of their own or bringing in others who have those capabilities to bring it into a team. Now, I'd like to answer that a different way. Okay. One of the satisfying areas that I see in working with...
Start over.
Ask the question again.
So, what is one of the things that, which question was it?
Is
Was it the,
satisfying or?
what is one thing?
Major needs.
What is one thing that a client will expect from Stewart Leadership when they work with Stewart Leadership?
Now that was, I already answered that one. Do the one of what is something that they need, because I want to talk about teams.
What is the one thing that leaders need to be successful?
One of the major things that we believe a leader needs is how to build and sustain a strong team. No matter the level in the organization, it can be at the supervisor level with individual contributors. It can be at the CEO or C-suite level, where they need to understand and perform how to build a single team, how to bring it together, how to sustain it, and how to achieve that next level of performance through others. It isn't just the team leader. It's bringing that team performance together so that people on that team, the members of the team, feel the satisfaction of achieving a goal because it was clearly understood and expressed and communicated and led, and they felt as if they would cross that goal line together and see the results that they had collectively achieved.
How does Stewart Leadership help a leader be able to develop that kind of a team? What do we do? How do we provide? How do we help them do that?
One of the 4 areas that Stewart Leadership brings to its client is team performance. Understanding from the leader's point of view what goes into that team is absolutely essential. And then working with the team members, on the other hand, is also critical in supporting their team leader. The key element for that team performance is communication. Constant, ongoing communication. It can't be assumed that it took place once. They need to feel each team member part of it, in the loop, that there are no surprises. Feedback is constant. Performance is improved and increased because it's measured. All of these communicated regularly, that they can count on that as a part of their team culture.
So now I want you to talk about specific services that we provide, like an offsite coaching, activity, team development. So here's
In the camera.
Scene 3, take 1.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Good job. All right, what is a major challenge that clients often face, and how does Stewart Leadership help to address that challenge?
One of the main organizational challenges that organizations face today, I'm going to start that over. One of the main challenges that organizations face today is the rapid pace of change. More and more we see clients rapidly transforming not just small subsections of teams, but whole business models. Leaders have to respond rapidly to dealing with all of this change, the intensity and the magnitude. We at Stewart Leadership help build the level of resiliency for leaders and provide the skills and tools that they can show up every day and lead themselves and others, including everyone in their organization, through this kind of change to be successful.
Okay. Scene 3, take 2.
Okay. What is a major challenge clients often face, and how does Stewart Leadership address that challenge?
One of the major challenges that organizations face today is the intensity and frequency of change. It's not just adjusting a team or a department, but it's sometimes adjusting the whole business model for an entire organization and doing it frequently. The challenge for any leader is to be able to lead in such a way for themselves, for their team, for the organization, so that they can then be resilient, managing this level of change and helping them ultimately achieve success in the end. We at Stewart Leadership help provide the tools and services and resources so that leaders can be successful amid so much change these days.
That was like lighting's better on Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to do it again?
Nope, I think that worked okay.
It was kind of a subtle shift, so no worries. I think you're fine.
Does it even see
If you
down
want to do
here?
it again, you're fine.
You don't see down there.
I wouldn't force you to, though.
You can ask me to go later if you want.
No, I'm going to ask you a little different way.
Please.
So, how does steward leadership help organizations manage the rapid pace of change?
So steward leadership helps leaders and teams and organizations manage through rapid change in many different ways. We focus at each of those three levels, at the individual leader, at the team level, and at the organization level. Because you cannot just focus on one of those and expect change to be successful. We provide resources and activities and programs for each level so that they can then develop the skills and the structures and the processes to be successful through change.
What is the goal of steward leadership?
We at Stewart Leadership believe strongly that organizations can thrive when leaders are fantastic. When leaders have the skills and are equipped with the correct mindset, as well as the correct approach, they can lead people to great things. That is what we believe in strongly, and that is what we partner with client organizations to achieve.
What is your favorite thing about working with a client?
One of the most satisfying aspects of working with a client is truly partnering with them, listening, understanding where their challenges are, not coming in with preconceived notions, but really understanding where they're at and meeting them where they are at. Creating with them what needs to happen, and then seeing the impact. Because once that is achieved, then they have the buy-in, and it can be sustainable.
Can you give me just a test?
Yeah, testing, sure.
Make sure it was working.
Is that good?
Yeah, good. That's good.
What can organizations expect from partnering with steward leadership?
Okay, this is a tight face shot, so just move back and forth. You're fine, but stay comfortable.
When clients partner with Stewart Leadership, they get to experience just that, a partnership, working arm in arm to accomplish great things together.
Right? That was good.
What are the 4 things that steward leadership does?
At Stewart Leadership, we provide services in 4 areas. First, leadership. Second, teaming. Third,
You're fine. You're gonna change.
that's funny.
Yeah.
They'll do it
Change
again.
management. Yeah.
At Stewart Leadership, we provide services in 4 main areas: leadership, teaming, change, and talent. In each of these 4 areas, we're able to work with leaders at every level to be able to help create successful teams, successful leaders, large-scale change programs and helping those programs to be successful, as well as managing the workforce, being able to predict and identify the types of skills and behaviors that organizations need to have, recruit for, develop, and manage to be successful now and in the future to accomplish their strategic goals.
How is steward leadership more than just a leadership firm?
Stewart Leadership got its start by focusing on developing leaders, training and coaching. Since then, over the last 35 years, we've continued to expand our services and capabilities, not only to meet the marketplace, but to help organizations prepare for the future. We help leaders not just develop themselves as leaders, but develop teams, develop whole organizations as they manage through change, as well as identify the talent that's needed at each level, and preparing leaders to be ready for the next step. So it's a complete and comprehensive look at helping human capital be developed and improved so that organizations can be successful.
What might clients not know about steward leadership that we can provide?
At Stewart Leadership, we provide a lot of different services. Not only do we provide executive coaching work, 3 and 6 and 12-month programs, but we also provide leadership programs, blended efforts with the coaching and assessments, personal action planning, videos, cohort programs, virtual training, and connected ultimately with results that are needed to be achieved by the organization. We also provide extensive consulting through change efforts, whether it's for a strategic or transformation change, or perhaps even a technology implementation. Also, to manage the workforce, to do succession planning, and to be able to prepare people in their careers. What are the competencies that are needed to be developed? And what's the executive presence that leaders need to achieve to be successful? How do they show up? All of these services and topics are things that we provide at Stewart Leadership.
Peter, ask him a question about the model so that he can explain it briefly. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the Lead Now model and how that can benefit organizations.
So oftentimes in our leadership development efforts, we will use our own model called Lead Now. I'm not going to say our own model. Oftentimes in our leadership development efforts, we will use an award-winning model called Lead Now. We created this several years ago, and it's explained and based upon our award-winning book, Lead Now. And it helps identify leaders. As we provide leadership development services, we use a model called Lead Now. That model is based around achieving results, that a leader needs to achieve business and people results, both kinds of results. They're also needing to achieve 21 different dimensions of leadership. We like to think of it as developing muscle in all of those 21 areas. If a leader does not, then they're likely going to be lopsided in their leadership. Within this Lead Now model, it's results focused. It focuses on operational results as well as emotional intelligence components. That's how we then help develop leaders.
What is a proud moment in working with a client?
One of the most satisfying
Oops, stop.
things.
Just a sec. So, emotional moment here.
Yeah, I'm going to tear up in a moment.
You're doing great.
Okay, great, thank you.
One of the most satisfying aspects is working with clients and helping them achieve their goals. For example, working with a CEO and clarifying and helping him understand the strategy that he is trying to understand.
We need a blooper reel.
I'm taking a drink.
Take a drink. You're doing great. Take a
I think we've got enough for a good blooper reel.
That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want me to talk or is it still recording?
Let's see. It's still recording.
Okay.
So you want me to say it again?
One of the most satisfying aspects working at Stewart Leadership? No. One of the most satisfying aspects is working with clients and seeing the difference that can happen as we then develop leaders, as we help talk to leaders about their strategy and help leaders understand how to communicate their strategy, not just once, but multiple times and in multiple ways, so that there is a collective energy throughout the team and the organization to do great things. And when that happens, it is incredibly satisfying to be able to see organizations, teams, and leaders accomplish what they want to do.
how does your experience as a consultant help you in the services you're providing at Stewart Leadership?
At Stewart Leadership as a consultant here, no. All of our consultants take a very distinct approach in how we work with clients. We first listen, and we do a lot of listening. And we value the term partnering, because any interaction that we have with a client, even a prospective client, we want to make sure that we understand where they're at, their challenges, their problems, what they're trying to achieve. And we then help create with them solutions to help them achieve where they need to go. That was beautiful.
That was great.
Go ahead and give me a clap. So this is scene 3, take 3.
4, isn't it?
Oh, so yeah, you're right. Take 4.
Scene 3, take 4.
There you go.
Thank you. And also, are we gonna get an emotional one now, or are we kind of backing off a little?
Sure, we'll do an emotion.
All right, I'm going in for the take, guys. So just be aware.
What is your wish?
Okay, we're recording. Go.
All right, what is your wish for leaders in the future?
What I would wish for leaders in the future is for them to recognize that leadership is hard work. And that there is never going to be a point where they're going to wake up and they're going to be done. That they have reached the point of being an amazing, effective leader and they are done. Rather, leadership is hard work. It is a distinct skill set that's a journey and requires day-to-day practice. Leaders are going to make mistakes. That is all right. Let's learn and keep going. If I can say one thing to a leader, it would be keep a learning mindset. Keep going, keep learning, keep improving. Don't stop. Keep on going.
That was fabulous.
That's good. Well delivered.
Dang, I could go on a promo. Yeah, I think that'd be a really
What
good
an idea!
Hey, 30
We should
seconds.
shoot that.
Okay. Why is leading others so hard?
Leading others can be a very challenging experience. It requires somebody to reach deep down inside of them and really understand who they are so they know how they are showing up each day. It would be easy leading if they didn't have anybody to lead. But of course, that's not the point. People are incredibly complex, as well as all of the other demands on our time. Balancing and juggling all of this makes leading incredibly challenging. We get it. We understand. We've been there. Let's work together and make it better.
That was great. So,
Sound bites.
what is something that leaders need to do to be more successful?
Leaders need to be able to reflect on themselves a lot more. They need to be able to be more aware of who they are. In order to be highly successful as a leader, they need to understand what they bring to the table and how they show up, and how they can adjust how they show up every day so that it can be different based upon the situation, the needs, the people on their team, the demands of the strategy, etc. They need to be able to flex and learn as they go. And that always comes back to understanding themselves.
How can Stewart Leadership help leaders better understand themselves?
Sorry. Sorry, I have too many funny thoughts going through my mind. Woo! Okay, ask me that again.
Happy to. How can Stewart Leadership help leaders better understand themselves?
Stewart Leadership can help leaders better understand. Stewart Leadership can help leaders better understand themselves through a variety of different ways. For example, we provide extensive one-on-one coaching services. We find that leaders can benefit greatly from one-on-one coaching, especially the higher up they go. We also provide group coaching. Did I say group coaching? I did.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm just going to take.
You're doing great.
What was that question again?
How can steward leadership help leaders learn more about themselves?
Okay. I don't know why it's so funny. I'm just thinking of very funny things.
You could go both ways if you like.
Right.
Yeah.
Steward leadership helps leaders understand more about themselves through a variety of different ways, especially around the assessments that we have. We have several online leadership assessments that leaders can take that increase the amount of awareness that they have about themselves, as well as the perceptions that others have about them. They can take that data and information and better understand how to show up differently, because they may show up a certain way and others will see them in a very different way, and they're not going to be able to achieve the results they need to. Taking a time out, reflecting on assessments, reflecting on new information through training, reflecting on self-discovery through coaching, reflecting on fantastic insights through some of our books or other resources, can give them day-to-day resources so they have better understanding of who they are and how they show up as a leader.
How is steward leadership preparing for and anticipating the needs of future leaders, or for leaders in the future?
We believe that leading others is critical for organizations to be successful, and that a definition of leadership 30, 40, 50 years ago is not necessarily the same definition of a successful leader today or in the future. Today, leaders need a different set of skills. They need to have a different mindset in order to be successful in today's marketplace. These different types of skills, including being able to manage change, are key areas that we at Stewart Leadership provide guidance, training, resources, and ongoing support in a variety of different ways so that leaders can adapt and develop into the kind of leadership that's needed in the future.
We've done, I think we've hit all of these.
I'm anticipating like an emotional moment.
Yeah,
Pulling
I think
in,
let's
pulling
just
in.
do kind of last ones. Because we talked about a proud moment. No, we didn't. We did
Yeah.
what you like working. Let's do a proud moment. What is a proud moment in working with a client?
We already kind of did that.
We did how you like to work with clients.
This was the one that I wasn't quite sure.
We can skip that one.
Yes.
You
We
sort
did
of
the-
answered
what
it.
is what is the one you would want leaders to know? We've asked that one.
Yeah.
We've done the 4 things the relationship does. Some leaders do wish for the future. We've hit them all. Any
You
others
hit 'em
you
all.
want to ask?
No, we got the model.
Yep. Any that come to mind that you want me to ask you?
Any additional thoughts on products? You've covered them.
Anything about broader consulting engagements?
I'm trying to think.
Our global presence.
Oh, yes. I want to talk about our ability to then meet client needs throughout the world.
Okay. All right. So, how can steward leadership help meet needs of leaders throughout the world?
At Stewart Leadership, we've continued to grow, not only from a client base, as well as from a consultant base and a partner base. We are privileged to have partners throughout the world. We travel extensively and have a vast network of consultants throughout the world who can deliver, whether it's training, consulting services, or coaching, to be able to meet the demands for any client.
That sounds good. I don't
Was
know if
that
you-
good? Was that?
I think it's wise we're not identifying specific areas
Set
because
and
those
match.
can change and those can grow. I asked a few more follow-up questions on change, which you got it too. I asked a few different ways. So, no, I think you're doing it well.
Right on.
Okay, we're good.
Good job.